My Other Half, authored by Ashley Phillips. Chapter 2, Dead and Wed. It has been what you would understand it to be 2 months since I last gazed into the eyes of my Atum. Today is also the day I'm set to wed Sobek. My heart is weary, but I mustn't allow this dejection to show on my face. I must present myself as the epitome of delectation. This union of Sobek and I is not a union of love, but a union to ensure the domination by the rulers of our lands. Today is the day my Anat is set to be wed to Sobek. My heart is weighed down with sorrow, a pain that feels all too familiar. A pain I have felt in past lives in which the spirits of my Anat and I were not allowed to be. A pain I felt with my father's death. A pain I escaped with my mother's death, as I do not remember her passing. My mother transitioned into the afterlife in exchange for my life. So, I never knew my mother other than what my father shared about her to me, his son. My father spoke of my mother as being a woman of the heavens. My father described to me a woman who adorned wings. My mother had a heart in which she gave love to all. I feel as though the heart in my chest is the one that my mother left to me. Today my mother parades around in my thoughts as I am motivated to exchange my life for the love that is Anat and I. How will my Anat receive my presence? I am not sure. If nothing else, I need my Anat to know my heart is hers. Embroidered with only the finest cloths and jewels, I wait to be called to begin the ceremony. Everyone is set to be here. Everyone from the northern and southern kingdoms are invited to witness such a spectacle. Everyone but Atum. I am summoned by a servant. Atan, it is time. As I walk to the gallows, I hear the excitement of the sea of spectators and the beating of the drums of circumstance. My heart races and palpitates in a way to remind me that no matter where we are on this earth, Atum and I will always be connected. I reach my mark next to Sobek. The crowd quiets as the ceremony begins. We are gathered here today to witness the joining of two great nations to the wedding of my dearest daughter Anat and the son of the Pharaoh of the southern kingdom, Sobek. My father continues. This joining of forces will oversee the expansion of our nations to protect and grow the wealth and well-being of all of our people, to new beginnings in endless abundance and prosperity for all. The crowd erupted in cheer as Sobek and I bowed to be bestowed such honors. Anat! I hear his call from a distance. I look up in recognition of my Atum's voice. Anat, I will love you through my days and appreciate you in my nights, Atum shouts. The crowd was stunned by the presence of Atum, as was I. Word got around to the villages regarding Atum's banishment, the reason for Atum being banished under lock and key. I knew better than to answer Atum's cry. I look to my father as he stands with fury in his eyes. My father answers the astonishment conveying on my face with a gaze that tells me what my father will do next. I hang my head in pain for a brief moment. Then, my father presses his hand against my back to remind me that I am not to show weakness. I raise my head with dignity, a facade, as Atum is being carried away by my father's guards. The drums begin to ring out again as the ceremony continues until completion. I am now wed to Sobek, king of the new kingdom. I am now Anat, wife to Sobek, and queen of the new kingdom. I am now also the widow of Atum, bearer of my true soul. I wish these things held no truth, but these circumstances are my new realities. You cannot force away my love for Anat. Atum screams to the shackles of his awaited fate. Atum is being held in my father's prison. He's been held there for 3 days now. I am not set to leave for Sobek's home for another 2 days. I have been studying the routine of the prison guard, so I know the guard will be away from his post for 5 minutes for his break to relieve himself. Atum? I whisper to my Atum. Atum. Oh, my Atum. Atum responds. Atum continues. I do not fault you, for I know choices you have not. My love, my life will be taken. I need you to know I live forever in your heart. I begin sobbing with my lips perched on the cheek of my Atum. I am able to find few words to suffice as my lips part to say, my Atum, I will continue to hold you in my soul as I have remembered to do so many lifetimes before. I ask the gods for our return back to each other in more simpler times, where I can be for you and you can be mine. Atum returns the sentiments of our pure love. I love you, my heart. You must go now. I choose to die for you. I need you to live for me. Atum and I's lips meet for what I thought would be the last time in this lifetime. My Atum, I escaped the guard's detection. If I had stayed a second later, both Atum and I would have been subject to execution. My Atum, I will be alive for as long as the gods see fit, but to live, this is something I cannot do without you. I will try. Oh, Atum, I will try. For you have chosen to die for me. I must strive to live for thee. The 2 days have passed and I am set to leave today. Oh, my heart withers. But composed I must be. I am setting out for the journey to Sobek's homeland just over the riverway. So I say goodbye to the home that forbade me of hope. I say goodbye to the father that denied me of choice. I say, I'll see you again to my Atum, my true love, and my friend.
The outro, My Other Half, authored by Ashley Phillips. We have gone through, we're in the midst of Atum and Atan. We're in the midst of the love, the energy that is Atum and Atan. As I channeled or originally wrote Atum and Atan's story, my mind was trying to understand what is not to be understood. My mind was attempting to understand what was not to be understood. And as my mind attempted to understand what is not to be understood, my mind only perpetuated the notion that Atum and Atan were in a lose-lose situation. My mind only perpetuated the notion that Atum and Atan were victims of their love. Now, fast forward, I am more seasoned in the understanding of my soul, more seasoned in the understanding of God, as our souls are dimensions and aspects of God. I am more seasoned in the understanding of my soul. I am more seasoned in the other understanding of God. God is a maestro, the grand maestro, the narrator, the orchestrator of every circumstance, event, moment in existence. And as we know, God does nothing null or void. God does nothing without high purpose. God does nothing without intention for the highest good of God, or the highest good of creation, or the highest good of all. So as I narrate Dead and Wed, I am able to perceive that perhaps Atum situation was attempting to teach Atum what Atum already knew. Atum situation was attempting to exemplify what Atum already knew in the heart space. They perpetually say, no matter where we are, we're always together. No matter where we are, I feel you. No matter where we are each other's love. We are love. We are one. Yet and still, Atum feel victim to their circumstance, not understanding that their circumstances were trying to show them that even with all of this bullshit happening in your life, even with the circumstances keeping you apart in your physicality, you are never separate. And you know this because you feel it. You know this is your truth. What else could you ask for in a love? What else do you want in a love? And I can say, I can say a lot of things, but I understand Atum because as I narrated Atum story, I felt the energies in my heart space of what Atum were experiencing, so much so that I was able to see and feel the events in which Atum experienced. Love, God, as God is love, is the understanding that every situation, every circumstance, every moment is being presented to you for high purpose, for high knowledge, for greater expansion of self, or greater expansion of God, or greater understanding of self, or greater understanding of God. Atum's love is the epitome of the manifestation of God.